Namaste Gurukulians, how are you? I wish you are in the fighting fit spirit of your health. Today, we are going to continue part 3 of the reading of a chapter, class 5th. Chapter 3 of this book. Chapter 3, the story of Aakash. I've written it, the story of Aakash, part 3. Before I start, I'd like to give you a brief introduction about this story. This story is related to a boy whose name is Ramu and his complete name is Rambhadra Narayan Murthy. He lives in a small village with his family. He's a playful boy, he's a helpful boy, and they live in a thatched roof hut home, and he is an obedient boy. So once his father sends him for a small job, which is an errand, the word is used in it, errand, E-R-R-A-N-D, means for something you go somewhere and you come back, and that is to bring medicine for the granny who is already very weak. So there is a condition for the boy by his father that he has to come back before noon. Reason, there is going to be a solar eclipse that day, and it is not safe to stay outside whenever there is a solar eclipse. So the father makes it sure that the son Ramu comes home before noon, and he will also be at home. Now, if you remember, we have done first two readings of a first, second, today it is third. What we learnt from first and second reading, that Ramu goes to the village, he asks the Vaidya to bring the medicine, to prepare the medicine, and the Vaidya takes some time. He goes in the jungle to bring the herbs, and when he comes after 1.5 hours, he again takes 15 minutes to grind and to prepare the medicine. Obviously, he is getting late, and this is in his mind that father asked him to come back home early before noon, and there's going to be a solar eclipse that day. So this makes the boy a little tense. Now let's move on from this part. This is part 3, and I'm going to begin from this paragraph, no matter. All right, so let me read it. I'll tell you the story, explain it, and tell the meanings. No matter how fast he ran, he could not keep up with time. So because he was already late because of the Vaidya taking time. So means he wanted to be on time, but he was very late, which was now close to noon, and it was the noon time. Almost it was noon, and according to father, he had to be at home before noon. Now he was getting late. Suddenly, he realized that he was being followed. So when he was on the way home, he found that somebody is chasing from back. Somebody is chasing him from back. This particular stretch of the mud path was lonely. Now the path on which he was going back home was full of mud, right? And he knew means उसे पहले से ही मालूम था, there were robbers. Robbers means the people who actually stop by force, who stop other people by force and forcefully take their belongings, money, etc. That there were robbers roaming. Roaming means hanging around, looking for a chance, in search of passers-by. Passers-by means whoever who crosses the road, right? Would they take away the silver anklet I am wearing? These are the thoughts of the boy Ramu, that would they take away the silver anklet? Anklet means a kind of ornament. See in the picture, I'll show you. This is Ramu, and in the picture you can see in his right leg, he is wearing an anklet. So this is actually a metal. Now he's thinking कि क्या वो मेरा ये anklet ले लेंगे जो कि silver means चांदी से बना है, I'm wearing, मैंने पहना है जो. He thought, उसने सोचा. Menacing footsteps echoed. Okay, here we have first word for the vocabulary purpose. menacing. Menacing means seeming likely to cause harm, means something which seems to be harmful for you. There's one more word, echoed. Echoed means of sound coming back to you. Right? Now, footsteps, the sound of the foot of the robbers from the band behind him, and poor Ramu was petrified. Okay, there's one more word. Petrified. Petrified means worried. Now, Ramu was getting worried because sound of the footsteps was coming from the backside, and this was not fine. It was harmful for him. He hurriedly crouched. Ramu ने क्या किया? Crouched. Like bend knees and sit. Turn the body. So he turned his body and he sat. बैठ गया वो behind a thick bush. Thick means काफ़ी dense, bush means झाड़ियाँ, and hoped, उसने इच्छा की, उसने आशा की, his heart was not beating too loud, that his heartbeat was not loud, so that he could be safe. Right? Now I'm explaining it again. When he was coming back home, he heard the footsteps of the robbers, and after hearing the footsteps, he sat behind a thick bush and hoped his heart was not beating fast or loud. Then he looked up at me, Aakash. Me, who's me here? This is Aakash, this is sky. उसने मेरी तरफ देखा. Now actually the story is being narrated by sky, by Aakash, and Aakash is telling the story of Ramu, Rambhadra Narayan Murthy, and prayed hard for a miracle. Miracle means kind of magic. Well, though he had not realized it. यहाँ पर आकाश कहता है, Sky says that उसने तो जाना ही नहीं, the eclipse was almost total by then, कि उस वक्त तक जो ग्रहण था वो complete हो गया था, means it was completely an eclipse duration, means it was dark at that time. And the whole world was growing dark at noon. And what happens whenever there is an eclipse? There is darkness around. Ramu had the miracle he wanted. Actually, Ramu prayed to the sky that let the eclipse happen so that I can move safely from this place where robbers are watching and waiting for me. So this was the thing here. Now, what was the miracle Ramu wanted? You can think about it. Ramu wanted a miracle to have the eclipse there so that he can run away, okay, secretly, to be safe. I watched with pride the replay of the beautiful drama that happened many times before. So the moon, which rotates round the earth, and the earth that rotates round the sun, fall in line with the sun. The shadow of the moon covered the sun, and the earth turned dark because the sun's rays were cut off. Here, the sky is explaining the eclipse, how it happens. I watched with pride the replay of the beautiful drama. So this beautiful drama which was happening there, that had happened many times before, because sky has been witnessing, means watching, वो देख रहा है. स्काई तो काफ़ी समय से देख रहा है, आकाश तो काफ़ी समय से देख रहा है कि कितने एक्लिप्स हो रहे हैं. द मून, यू अंडरस्टैंड द प्लैनेट विच रोटेट्स अराउंड द अर्थ. द मून रोटेट्स अराउंड द अर्थ रोटेट्स अराउंड द सन, फॉल इन लाइन विद द सन. वो they come in one line, and that is the eclipse time. When you see the sun, you see moon actually. Now there is moon between earth and sun, and what happens when the rays of the sun is blocked by a planet which is the moon? What happens? The darkness on the earth, right? So this is the actually thing. The shadow of the moon covered the sun, and the earth turned dark because the sun rays were cut off. All right, now let's move on. One more paragraph here. Ramu was too scared to even look up at the sky. So at this time, Ramu was not confident to look at the sky. He heard the robbers right next to him as he peered from the corner of his eye. So Ramu tried to see around him about the robbers. So he peered. Peered means look closely. Oh dear, he thought. The sky has become dark. This must be the eclipse. Then he found that it was the time of eclipse. All right, and he said this must be eclipse. Yes, it was the eclipse time. Now I am keeping reading of this chapter in part 3 up to this place, up to this must be the eclipse. I'll move on in the next video. Till then, watch this video completely to understand, read the story, try to find out the answers. Soon you will get answers of the question answers. All right, have a good day.